Let me tell you a story. My name is Ryan Williams, and his name is Sebastian Pinera. And this is the letter that I got from his office around this time last year. You see, around this time last year, I was asking a lot of foreign leaders, governors of U.S. states, some senators, for signed autographs to see if I could create some sort of collection. And many of them responded to me with signed autographs, personalized letters even. And his office was one that did. They responded to me. And I know I've mentioned in this class before that I've got a signed autograph of Sebastian Pinera. And preparing for this assignment, I opened the letter and realized that the photo was missing. I was so confused. Where did he go? I leave every single one of my photos from foreign leaders and etc. in this box of 1800 silver tequila that's in my room. And I know that Pinera didn't just hop out of the box and walk away. So where did he go? I look inside and I find lots of pictures, such as this photo I got from Latvian President Eglis Levits, and this one of George W. Bush, which is my personal favorite because he gave me his best wishes. But no, I looked everywhere, and Sebastian Pinera's photo just wasn't there. The letter his office wrote to me, which is straight from La Moneda, even says that the photo you requested is attached to this letter. So I had to have gotten it, right? But then I started to doubt myself. Did I ever get this letter? Did I ever get a letter of Sebastian Pinera? I looked through the camera roll of my iPhone because back then, the day I got a letter in the mail from a foreign leader, I would always take a picture of the portrait, like this one of Benjamin Netanyahu, the day I got it. But I didn't find one of Pinera's. I had been looking for well over an hour now, and I had begun to really seriously doubt if I had ever gotten this photo in the first place, even though I could swear I have vivid memories of me holding it in my hand. I talked to my mom, my dad, my brother, asking them questions. Do you ever remember me showing you the photo? Did you ever see it lying around? It could have gotten thrown away. Did you accidentally throw it away? He's not in office anymore, so I can't really just ask his office for another one. At this point, I'm at the point of mass hysteria. I was so confused, so concerned, because I really liked the photo. I liked having this cool collection. My family encouraged me to calm down, and eventually I do, because then I realized what I had on my hands was a PR disaster. And Pinera knows a little bit about PR himself. On August 5th, 2010, the San Jose mine in northern Chile collapsed, and it quickly became the talk of the nation. After 17 days of drilling into the ground trying to locate any signs of life, a note is found strapped to the deepest part of the drill after it was sent back to the surface. It says that all 33 miners that were in the cave miraculously lived. Then began two missions, the rescue mission and the PR mission. PR, short for public relations, can be described as the process of shaping the narrative and perception around a situation, organization, or individual. Sebastian Pinera certainly knew a thing or two about PR. After winning the Chilean people's trust by being elected president earlier that year, making him the first right-wing leader of the nation since Augusto Pinochet. And after the miners were found, Pinera knew that it was time to show the world what a businessman could do. With emphasis here on the word show, because national and international media had grabbed a hold of this story and covered it heavily, and you really can't blame them, so many lives are at risk, but it's just so notable how close the cameras got to the action. At this press conference, you see microphones and camera stations inside of the tent, which makes sense given the informative nature of press conferences, but it doesn't really make sense for cameras to be as close as they are during this moment when the miner's note is read for the first time out loud. The man who holds this note is Lawrence Goldborn, a member of Pinera's cabinet, as he was appointed as the Minister of Mining only a few months back. I find it notable that he publicly stated, and I quote, "I am not knowledgeable in mining." We're off to a great start. And this is even worse from a PR perspective once you realize that he said this after the collapse. Can you even imagine being a family member of one of those miners and hearing this? Your loved one is facing almost certain death, and the effort to prevent their almost certain death is being led by a guy who essentially goes, I don't really know what I'm doing. My heart would have sank so far it would have reached the miners themselves. But thankfully for these two men, the 33 below the surface, and the entire nation, their mission was a success. Both the rescue mission and the PR mission. You see, the term PR, generally speaking, has a negative connotation, since the acronym is often juxtaposed alongside companies who have found themselves, for one reason or another, in the midst of PR nightmares. However, PR plays such an important role in keeping the public calm during times of fear and uncertainty. It also plays an important role in making an unlikely goal seem much more achievable, which can assist in the willingness of companies to allocate resources towards the cause. I know that we have mentioned visuals before, but they played such a huge role in pushing a positive narrative. This trend lasts from the very start of the ordeal with this image of one of the very first times a camera was poked down the mine, all the way to day 69 where the final rescue effort begins. I don't want to dive too quick into speculation here, but it's interesting to note that Pinera uses the age-old acting technique of orienting your body directly towards the audience, which in this case would be the world watching at home through the lens of the camera. But the doctor, seen in the white lab coat, is facing towards the hole. This could be completely coincidental, but it's a thought that I had in mind. Religion plays an important PR role here as well. Religion can serve as a powerful tool for unity and charity. Many of the miners asked for crosses and Bibles to be brought down alongside their food and water. When there's nowhere else to go, you can always turn to God, which is what many above and below the surface did. The families of the miners also showed tremendous courage staying on top of the mine, since there was a non-zero chance of another collapse, where they too could find themselves underneath the rubble. Each family member is risking their life just to get as close to their loved one as they possibly can, directly above them. Finally, an appeal to patriotism also plays a key role in keeping unity. During the first phone call between the miners and the surface, the miners began singing the Chilean national anthem. A projector is brought down to allow the miners to watch a soccer game between Chile and Ukraine a few days later. The nation celebrates the 200th anniversary of Chilean independence on top of the mine. Not to mention that the Chilean flag is seen everywhere throughout the entire ordeal. As their lives are in the hands of the government, showing patriotism is only beneficial to the miners' mental health. It is truly a miracle that all 33 miners were saved. What could have been a complete failure 1 trillion times worse than a local college student losing his signed photo of Sebastian Pinera turned into a complete engineering and PR success. If the miners, engineers, families, clergy, and average Chileans had lost all hope, there is no way all 33, if any, survive. When all hope is lost, you just have to keep pushing forward. That's all you can do in times like these.